Have you ever looked in the mirror and felt like your body is aging faster than your soul, not because of time, but because of exhaustion? Your energy feels lower, your mind feels heavier. Your body feels slower, you wake up tired even after sleeping. You keep telling yourself you will change tomorrow, but tomorrow keeps disappearing. And deep inside, there is a quiet fear growing stronger every year, the fear that one day your best version may be gone forever. But what if aging is not happening as naturally as you think? What if most people are not getting old because of age, but because they stopped living with intention? This is the truth nobody talks about. The human body is always listening. Every thought, every habit, every movement, every hour of stress sends signals into your nervous system. Your body adapts to whatever you repeat. If you repeat tension, your body becomes tense. If you repeat stillness, your body becomes weak. If you repeat chaos, your body begins breaking down silently from the inside. And this is why so many people feel old long before they actually are. But in Japan, there is a philosophy that changes everything. They believe transformation does not begin with extreme effort. It begins with tiny daily rituals, small actions repeated consistently. Habits so simple that the brain does not resist them. Quiet routines that slowly rebuild the body, sharpen the mind, and restore emotional balance. And by the end of this video, you will understand why these tiny habits are more powerful than motivation itself. Because motivation fades, discipline stays. Most people wait for a massive breakthrough before changing their lives. They think they need perfect timing, huge energy, or endless confidence. But the Japanese approach teaches something different. Real transformation happens in the smallest moments, in the quiet decisions nobody sees, the 5 minutes you stretch instead of scrolling, the slow walk instead of sitting all day. The deep breath instead of another anxious reaction. Tiny actions seem weak in the beginning, but repeated daily they become identity, and identity changes everything. One of the most powerful Japanese micro-habits is simple movement immediately after waking up. Not intense exercise, not punishment, just movement, stretching the body, rotating the joints. Opening the chest, activating the muscles gently before the day begins. Why does this matter so much? Because your body takes instructions from your mornings. When you wake up and remain still, your body receives signals of passivity. But when you move, even slightly, blood circulation improves, the brain wakes up faster, muscles stay active. Energy begins flowing naturally instead of feeling forced. This is not just physical, it is psychological. The moment you move your body with intention, your mind starts believing that you are someone who takes care of yourself, and the brain always follows repeated behavior. Another powerful habit is mindful walking. Most people walk while mentally somewhere else, distracted, rushed, stressed, but many Japanese wellness practices teach calm walking with awareness. Feeling each step, breathing deeply, slowing the nervous system down, and science now confirms something incredible. Stress accelerates aging faster than almost anything else. Chronic stress damages sleep, weakens the immune system, drains energy, and increases inflammation inside the body. But calm movement lowers those stress signals naturally. Your body heals better when your nervous system feels safe. That is why these habits matter. They are not just routines, they are messages. Messages that tell your body, I am still alive. I am still strong, I am not giving up on myself. And if you stay until the end of this journey, you will realize something powerful. Youth is not something you lose overnight. It is something you either protect daily or slowly abandon through unconscious habits. And the dangerous part is that decline rarely feels dramatic in the beginning. It happens quietly. A little less energy every morning, a little more stress every night, a little more stiffness in the body, a little less excitement for life. Until one day, people wake up and realize they no longer feel connected to the person they used to be. This is why the Japanese philosophy of micro-habits is so powerful. It protects you from invisible decline before it becomes permanent damage, because the body does not collapse all at once. It slowly becomes whatever you repeatedly train it to become. And one of the biggest things modern people are training every day is stress. Constant stimulation, constant pressure, constant mental noise, notifications, comparison, fear about the future. Regret about the past. The nervous system never truly rests anymore. And when the nervous system stays trapped in survival mode, the body begins aging faster from the inside out. Sleep becomes weaker. Focus becomes blurry, hormones become unstable, digestion slows down, muscles tighten, even your face starts carrying the weight of emotional exhaustion. This is why many people look tired even when they are young. Their body is carrying stress it was never designed to hold forever. But Japanese wellness practices understand something most people ignore. Healing begins when the body feels safe again. That is why silence is treated like medicine. In today's world, silence feels uncomfortable because people have become addicted to distraction. The moment life becomes quiet, they reach for their phones, music, videos, or noise. Not because they enjoy it, but because they are afraid of facing themselves. But silence has power. Silence allows the nervous system to slow down. It gives the brain space to recover. It lowers emotional overload, and when the mind becomes calmer, the body finally gets permission to repair itself. Even a few quiet minutes every day can begin changing your emotional state in ways you cannot immediately see, because peace is not empty. Peace is recovery. Another Japanese micro-habit that changes the body deeply is eating slowly and consciously. Most people today eat while distracted, fast chewing, fast swallowing, fast living. They consume food without awareness and then wonder why their body feels heavy, inflamed, and exhausted. But when you slow down while eating, something powerful happens. Your body relaxes. Digestion improves, stress hormones decrease. The brain recognizes fullness properly. Energy becomes more stable instead of constantly crashing. And this matters because inflammation is one of the hidden roots of aging. The body heals better when it is not constantly overloaded. This is why Japanese culture often values moderation instead of excess. Smaller portions, slower pace, more awareness, less chaos, not because restriction is powerful, because balance is powerful. And maybe that is what your body has been begging for all along. Not punishment, not impossible routines, not another cycle of extreme motivation followed by burnout, just balance, just consistency. Just small moments of care repeated daily. Another habit that quietly protects youth is stopping before exhaustion. Modern culture teaches people to destroy themselves for success, to ignore fatigue. Ignore stress, ignore emotional burnout, as if constant exhaustion is proof of importance. But the body keeps score. Every ignored signal becomes tension stored inside the nervous system. Japanese wellness philosophies often focus on sustainable energy instead of endless pressure. They understand that recovery is not laziness. Recovery is survival. Your muscles recover during rest. Your brain repairs itself during sleep. Your emotional wounds soften during stillness. Without recovery, the body slowly breaks down no matter how ambitious you are. And this is where real transformation begins. The moment you stop treating your body like a machine and start treating it like a living system that responds to care, rhythm, calmness, and consistency. Because your body wants to heal, it has always wanted to heal. But healing becomes impossible in a life filled with constant stress, endless noise, and daily self-neglect. The good news is that even the smallest shift toward peace begins changing you from the inside out, and once you understand that, something inside you starts changing. You stop chasing extreme transformation and begin respecting the quiet power of daily discipline. You realize that the body is not asking you for perfection, it is asking you for consistency. Because consistency creates trust between you and yourself. Every time you choose movement over laziness, your mind notices. Every time you protect your peace instead of feeding chaos, your nervous system notices. Every time you rest properly, breathe deeply, stretch slowly, or walk mindfully, your body remembers that it was designed to thrive, not just survive. And this is where most people fail. They underestimate small actions because the results are invisible at first. They want immediate proof, immediate change, immediate rewards, but nature has never worked that way. A tree does not become strong overnight. Muscles do not grow in one workout. Healing does not happen in a single day. the deepest transformations are always quiet in the beginning, and so is aging. Nobody wakes up old overnight. Aging happens through repeated neglect, repeated stress, repeated self-abandonment, so reversing that process also happens through repetition. Through small acts of self-respect repeated long enough to become identity. One powerful Japanese habit that reflects this deeply is posture awareness. Most people today move through life collapsed. Shoulders forward, neck bent down, breathing shallow, not just because of phones and screens, but because stress itself changes the body physically. Emotional weight becomes physical tension. And over time, the body starts reflecting the emotional state of the mind. But posture changes psychology more than people realize. When you stand taller, breathe deeper, and open your chest, the brain receives signals of confidence and stability. Energy changes, focus sharpens, breathing improves. Even emotional resilience becomes stronger. Your body and mind are constantly communicating. This is why many Japanese practices focus on intentional movement, not aggressive movement. Intentional movement, controlled motions, calm breathing, awareness of the body, because awareness creates connection, and connection creates healing. Another powerful micro-habit is spending time close to nature. Modern life has disconnected people from natural rhythms completely. Most people wake up to screens, spend the day under artificial lights, and end the night mentally overstimulated. The nervous system never reconnects with calmness, but nature resets the human mind. Fresh air slows mental tension. Sunlight regulates the body clock. Trees, wind, silence, and open space lower stress hormones naturally. Even a short daily walk outside can improve emotional balance and physical energy, because your nervous system was not designed for constant digital overload. It was designed for rhythm, for movement, for sunlight, for calmness. And maybe this is why so many people feel emotionally lost today. Their minds are overloaded, but their souls are undernourished. Another Japanese principle that quietly protects youth is simplicity. Not constantly chasing more pressure, more noise, more stimulation, more consumption, but learning to create space. A simpler room calms the brain, a calmer schedule protects energy, a focused life reduces emotional exhaustion. This matters because mental clutter eventually becomes physical fatigue. Your body carries what your mind refuses to release. And the truth is, many people are not tired because life is impossible. They are tired because they never allow themselves to recover emotionally. They stay trapped in cycles of comparison, overthinking, distraction, and pressure until their body begins breaking down silently. But healing begins the moment you slow down enough to listen to yourself again. The moment you stop fighting your body and start working with it instead, because your body is not your enemy. It is your lifelong companion, and every small habit you repeat daily is either strengthening that relationship or damaging it. That is why these tiny Japanese habits matter so much. They are not simply routines, they are acts of self-respect. And over time, self-respect changes everything, because the moment you begin respecting yourself through small daily actions, your entire inner world starts shifting. You begin walking differently, thinking differently, breathing differently, and slowly, without realizing it, you stop operating like someone who has given up on themselves. That change is powerful. Because many people are physically alive but mentally disconnected from life. They move through their days on autopilot, wake up tired, work without meaning, scroll endlessly, sleep without recovery. Repeat the cycle again and again until years disappear. And the most dangerous part is this. When people live without awareness long enough, they start believing exhaustion is normal. They think constant stress is adulthood. They think low energy is unavoidable. They think feeling emotionally numb is just part of life. But your body was never designed to live in permanent survival mode. It was designed for balance. This is why Japanese philosophy places such deep importance on intentional living, small rituals. Small pauses, small moments of awareness that reconnect the mind and body before life becomes chaos again. One of the most powerful habits is controlled breathing. It sounds simple, almost too simple. But most people have forgotten how to breathe properly because stress has trained the body into shallow breathing patterns. fast breaths, tight chest, constant tension. The nervous system stays trapped in alert mode even when no danger exists. And over time, this slowly drains life from the body. Energy decreases, sleep quality weakens, anxiety increases. Focus becomes unstable, muscles stay tense, the body ages under invisible pressure. But slow breathing changes the nervous system almost immediately. Deep breaths send signals of safety to the brain. Heart rate slows down, muscles relax, emotional intensity decreases, the body shifts from survival into recovery. This is why breathing practices are deeply connected to Japanese martial arts, meditation, and wellness traditions, because calm breathing creates a calm mind, and a calm mind protects the body. Another quiet habit that transforms people over time is stretching before sleep. Not intense workouts, not punishment, just gentle release. Most people carry stress physically without realizing it. Tight shoulders, stiff neck, heavy back, restless legs, the body stores emotional tension like armor, and if that tension never leaves, exhaustion slowly becomes permanent. But when you stretch slowly before sleep, the body begins letting go. Muscles soften, breathing deepens, sleep improves, and sleep is one of the most powerful anti-aging tools that exists. Because while you sleep, the body repairs itself, cells recover, hormones rebalance. The brain clears emotional and physical stress accumulated during the day. Good sleep is not laziness. It is restoration, and restoration is what keeps people strong for decades. Another Japanese principle that changes everything is consistency over intensity. Most people destroy themselves chasing dramatic transformation. They start routines fueled by emotion, then quit the moment motivation fades. They think failure means weakness, but the real problem is unrealistic pressure. The human brain fears overwhelming change, but small habits bypass resistance. One healthy action repeated daily feels manageable, sustainable, safe, and this is how identity changes quietly. One mindful meal becomes healthier living. One daily walk becomes natural movement. One calm evening becomes emotional stability. One disciplined habit becomes self-respect. Psychology calls this the success loop. Small wins create dopamine. Dopamine strengthens motivation. Motivation increases repetition. Repetition creates identity. This is why tiny habits become life-changing over time, because your brain begins seeing you differently, not as someone trying to change, but as someone who already has. And once identity changes, behavior becomes automatic. That is the hidden secret behind people who age with strength, energy, and peace. They do not rely on temporary motivation. They build lifestyles that support healing naturally. Small actions, repeated daily, until the body finally trusts that it is safe, supported, and cared for again. And when the body feels cared for consistently, it begins giving that care back to you in the form of energy, clarity, resilience, and life. And maybe that is what you have been searching for this entire time. Not another temporary burst of motivation, not another extreme routine that leaves you exhausted after 2 weeks, but a way of living that makes you feel alive again. Because deep down, you already know the truth. Your body is capable of more than the life you are currently giving it. Your mind is capable of more peace than the stress you carry every day. Your spirit is capable of more energy than the exhaustion you have accepted as normal. But transformation only begins when you stop waiting for a perfect moment and start respecting small moments instead. That is the heart of these Japanese micro habits. They teach you that greatness is not built through intensity. It is built through rhythm, through repetition, through quiet discipline practiced even when nobody is watching. And one of the most powerful shifts happens when you stop identifying as someone who is trying to change and start becoming someone who naturally protects their energy, body, and peace. Because identity controls behavior. If you believe you are lazy, your actions will follow that belief. If you believe you are broken, your habits will reflect it. But if you begin seeing yourself as someone who deserves strength, calmness, health, and vitality, your decisions slowly begin changing automatically. This is why tiny habits matter so much psychologically. Every small action becomes evidence. Every walk tells your brain you are becoming healthier. Every deep breath tells your nervous system you are safe. Every moment of discipline tells your identity that you are no longer abandoning yourself. And eventually the brain accepts a new story about who you are. That is when change becomes permanent. This is also why many Japanese philosophies focus on lifelong improvement rather than perfection. They understand that perfection creates pressure, but progress creates momentum. And momentum changes lives. One small improvement each day may feel invisible at first, but over time it becomes impossible to ignore. A calmer mind, a stronger body, better sleep, sharper focus. More emotional control, more confidence, more peace, not because of one dramatic breakthrough, but because you finally stopped working against yourself. Most people spend years damaging their health through unconscious habits, then expect instant healing overnight. But the body heals through patience, through repetition, through consistency. The same way a body slowly weakens over time, it can also slowly rebuild itself over time. And this realization is powerful because it means your future is still being shaped right now, not tomorrow. Not next year, right now, by the habits you repeat daily, the way you breathe, the way you move, the way you eat, the way you rest, the way you speak to yourself when nobody else is around. Everything matters because the body remembers everything you repeatedly do. This is why awareness becomes so important. The moment you become conscious of your habits, you take your power back. You stop living on autopilot. You stop drifting through life unconsciously. You begin choosing your future instead of accidentally creating it through neglect. And perhaps the most beautiful part of all this is understanding that it is never too late to begin. The body wants to heal, the mind wants peace, the nervous system wants safety. Even after years of stress, exhaustion, and self-neglect, the human body still fights to survive for you every single day. Your heart keeps beating, your lungs keep breathing, your body keeps trying. So maybe it is time to finally work with it instead of against it. Maybe it is time to stop punishing yourself and start rebuilding yourself, slowly, patiently, consistently. Because aging may be natural, but losing your vitality does not have to be. And one small habit, repeated daily with intention, has the power to change far more than you can currently imagine. The smallest actions often create the biggest transformations, not instantly, but permanently, and that is what makes this journey so powerful. You are not fighting against time. You are fighting against unconscious living, because time alone is not what destroys people. It is years of ignoring the body, years of carrying stress without release. Years of disconnecting from movement, peace, purpose, and self-respect. That is why some people grow older with strength in their eyes, energy in their body, and calmness in their spirit, while others feel defeated long before old age ever arrives. The difference is not luck, the difference is daily habits, tiny choices repeated quietly over years. And the truth is, your future self is being built right now by what you repeatedly tolerate, repeat, and practice every single day. If you practice stress daily, stress becomes your identity. If you practice exhaustion daily, fatigue becomes your normal. If you practice distraction daily, your mind loses clarity. But if you practice calmness, movement, discipline, gratitude, and recovery, your body slowly transforms into a reflection of those habits. This is why Japanese wisdom focuses so deeply on intentional living, not rushing through life unconsciously, but paying attention, being present. Protecting your inner world before the outside world destroys it, because your energy is sacred, your peace is sacred, your health is sacred. And the moment you truly understand that, your decisions begin changing naturally. You stop consuming things that poison your mind. You stop glorifying burnout. You stop treating sleep like weakness and stress like success. You begin valuing recovery, stillness, balance, and that shift changes everything, because healing is not just physical. It is emotional too. Many people are carrying emotional exhaustion that their body was never meant to hold forever. Regret, pressure, fear, comparison, constant self-criticism. These emotions slowly become physical tension inside the body. The shoulders tighten, the face hardens, the breathing shortens, the nervous system becomes overloaded. And eventually the body begins aging under emotional weight. But when you begin releasing that pressure through small, intentional habits, the body responds almost immediately. A calm walk outside, a quiet moment without your phone, a deep breath before reacting emotionally, a few minutes of stretching before sleep, a peaceful meal eaten slowly. These moments seem small, but they are teaching your nervous system something powerful. You are safe. You are allowed to slow down. You do not need to destroy yourself to deserve rest. And maybe this is the lesson modern life forgot. Human beings are not machines. You are a living system connected emotionally, mentally, and physically all at once. When one part suffers, the entire system feels it. But when one part begins healing, the entire system benefits too. That is why even one small healthy habit can begin changing your entire emotional state. One healthy action creates momentum. Momentum creates belief. Belief creates consistency. Consistency creates identity, and identity creates transformation. This is why the Japanese philosophy of micro-habits is so effective. It does not force change aggressively. It creates change naturally through repetition until the new behavior becomes part of who you are. That is real power, not motivation that disappears after a few days. But discipline, self-respect practiced long enough to become automatic, and once that happens, life begins feeling different. You wake up with more clarity, you move with more energy. You think with more calmness, you carry yourself differently, not because life suddenly became easier, but because you finally stopped abandoning yourself in small daily moments. That is the hidden secret behind people who seem youthful even as they age. Their body feels supported instead of attacked. Their mind feels calm instead of overloaded. Their habits create healing instead of destruction. And over time, those quiet daily choices become visible in their energy, posture, focus, emotions, and spirit. Because the body always reflects the life you repeatedly create for it. And starting today, you still have the power to create a different future for yourself.